I am the daughter of Yinzhou's wealthiest man. I married into the house of the Marquis of Dingyuan with a lavish dowry. After the wedding, I diligently managed the household and used most of my dowry to help cover the Marquis's expenses. In her 7th year as the mistress of the Dingyuan Marquis' mansion, on the day she suffered a difficult delivery with her 2nd child. The midwife asked Lu Yuanjia, "The wife is having a difficult labor. Should we save the mother or the baby?" Without consulting me, Lu Yuanjia spoke decisively. "Save the baby. The lady has always doted on her children. She'll surely want to keep this one." Main text. I heard every word clearly in the delivery room. After 7 years of marriage, their love was as thin as paper. After my daughter was born, I was still clinging to life by a thread. Lu Yuanjia came in to see the baby, and I asked him through my tears, "Why are you protecting Xiao? Don't you love me anymore? I'm your first wife. You know." Lu Yuanjia looked at me coldly, his eyes filled with disgust. "Cheng Wanwan, if it weren't for Pia Piao's fear of childbirth, I would never have married you. Now that you're dead, I can finally fulfill my promise to Pia Pia Toto be with her for the rest of my life. As her one and only, she is the only one I will ever love." Who is Pia Piao? Before I could ask any more questions, I had already died of exhaustion. I died with my eyes wide open. And as my spirit drifted above the home mansion, I saw Lu Yuanzhou leading a delicate young woman through the door. She held my newborn daughter in her arms, her face beaming with joy. "My lord, thank you for letting me become a mother without any pain. Now we finally have both a son and a daughter." My 6-year-old eldest son, Lu Mingyi, looked up at her and called out sweetly, "Mother Pia Piao, you're finally my real mother." Her mother-in-law, Immerse, took her hand affectionately, her face beaming with tenderness. "Pia Piao, from now on, I'll treat you like my own daughter." Her younger sister-in-law and several younger brothers-in-law also flattered her by calling her sister-in-law. Before long, Lu Yuanjia married his bride, using my dowry and the traditional wedding gifts. So all my hard work for the Ho family over the past 7 years has gone to waste. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back on my wedding night with Lu Yuanjia. Now that I've been given a second chance at life, I won't give another bone to this ungrateful family. Revenge for every wrong, settle every score, and divorce him after making him pay. I won't let them get the better of me, not even a little bit. The red candle on the table had burned down to half its length before the groom finally entered the bridal chamber. Lu Yuanjia explained to me with a sense of guilt. "Wan, I had a few drinks with some guests today, so that's why I'm late." I lifted the red veil, my tone indifferent. "Since your grace is drunk, why don't you go rest in your study?" Upon hearing this, Kai Wei, the maid who had come with her as part of the dowry, looked up in surprise and asked, "Miss?" I shot her a cold glance. When the master speaks, servants should not interrupt. Kai Wei immediately shut up. Lu Yuanzhou was also surprised by my reaction. "Wan, don't you want me to stay with you?" At that moment, his almond-shaped eyes gazed at me tenderly. In my past life, I was completely captivated by his alluring eyes. I mistakenly believed that he had fallen in love with me at first sight and that his love for me was deep and unwavering. It wasn't until later that I realized men with almond-shaped eyes look at dogs with deep affection. I gave a faint smile. "The Marquis and I are deeply in love. Why should we care about being apart day and night? Tonight, I won't let him consummate the marriage, and I never will. That bastard will never be worthy of touching me." That's true. I never would have thought Wan would write poetry. 2. A hint of approval flashed in Lu Yuanjia's eyes. He always thought I was the daughter of a merchant that aside from running a business and managing the household, I surely knew nothing about poetry. In fact, I know more than he does. In a past life, he had no interest in getting to know me. In this life, I've made sure he has no right to get close to me. I urged him to leave. "It's getting late. Your Grace, please go rest in your study. I need to get settled as well. I have to pay my respects to my mother-in-law with tea first thing tomorrow morning." "Okay." Lu Yuanjia gave me a cursory glance and then left. His back showed no sign of reluctance. Rather, He looked as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. So, his deep affection was just an act all along. How I wish I hadn't been so blind and foolish in my past life. In a past life, I was blinded by Lu Yuanjia's facade and mistook a faithless man for a true lover. Now I know that his heart belongs entirely to that woman Lu Piapiao. He never loved me one bit. He married me because I am the daughter of the richest man in Yanzhou. He was after the Xing family's vast fortune. Kai Wei is worried about me. Miss, if you don't share the bed with the Marquis on your wedding night, it might reflect poorly on your reputation. I chuckled to myself, what does reputation matter? Anyway, if they aren't in the same room, they won't have Lu Yuanjia's child. Lu Yuanjia has no right to have a child with me. That ungrateful bastard Lu Mingyi doesn't even deserve to have been born from my womb. But I gave nothing away. As a wife, I must always put my husband first. Since the Marquis is both exhausted and drunk, I should let him rest properly. There's no need to rush into consummating our marriage. In my previous life, while my soul was wandering through the Marquis's mansion, I overheard Lu Yuanjia and Lu Piapiao talking about their wedding night. That night, fearing he would upset Lu Piapiao, Lu Yuanjia went to her room first before coming to see me. He used the smell of alcohol to mask the scent of Lu Piapiao that lingered on him, and lied to me, saying he was drunk. Unbeknownst to me, I thought he had lit the incense specifically to help me sober up. As for my maid, she was bribed by my younger sister-in-law, Lu Yining, on the very second day after I married into the family, and became her eyes and ears to keep tabs on me. Lu Yining and Lu Piapiao have been close friends for many years. They are best friends. Lu Piapiao often stayed overnight at the Ho residence under the pretext of visiting Lu Yining. In a past life, Lu Yuanjia often went to the study under the pretext of attending to military affairs. But in reality, he was meeting secretly with Lu Piapiao. Every night I spend alone in my empty room. They are sneaking around together. After Kai Wei was bribed by Lu Yining, every move I made in the mansion was reported by Lu Yining to Lu Piapiao. That's why, for 7 long years, I had no idea that Lu Yuanjia and Lu Piapiao were having an affair. They were having an affair right under my nose and scheming against me. He tricked me into using all the silver from my dowry to support the Marquis's household, to purchase properties for the Lu family, and to buy a dowry for Lu Piapiao. Since Kai Wei has betrayed me, I plan to turn the tables on her. For now, I won't tip her off. When the time is right, I'll take them all down at once, go to the Marquis's study and attend to him. If the Marquis needs anything, serve him faithfully. I spoke in a roundabout way, and Sai Wei's cheeks flushed instantly, but she was overjoyed inside. She replied, yes, and went to Lu Yuanjia's study. A maid included in the dowry would naturally have the opportunity to serve the Marquis on behalf of her mistress. If she were to bear a son or a daughter, she could be elevated to the rank of concubine. The reason she was bribed by Lu Yining back then was that Lu Yining had painted a rosy picture for her, promising to persuade her brother to take her as a concubine. In this lifetime, I'm going to have Kai Wei go after Lu Piapiao and make her life miserable. Since Lu Piapiao wants to spend her life with Lu Yuanjia as his one and only, I'll make sure she sees with her own eyes how Lu Yuanjia is surrounded by his concubines. I also want Lu Mingyi to be born to a concubine, so he has no right to inherit the Xing family fortune. Kai Wei arrived at Lu Yuanjia's study, walked in boldly, her face flushed with shyness. Your Excellency, the lady has sent me to attend to you. No need. You can go now. Lu Yuanjia had already expended most of his energy on Lu Piapiao and felt no desire at that moment, let alone this lowly maid. However, having finally secured this golden opportunity, Kai Wei wasn't about to walk away just like that. Besides, the mistress sent her here. The food is practically in her mouth. Who would turn it down? Kai Wei nodded in agreement, but secretly dropped some love potion into the incense burner. Lu Yuanjia wasn't prepared, so he fell for it right away. Late that night, Lu Yuanjia fell asleep while holding Kai Wei, mistaking her for Lu Piapiao, and even made a passionate confession to Lu Piapiao in his sleep. Piao Piao is so beautiful, I absolutely love her. Kai Wei was taken aback. Could it be that the Marquis had found another love? when he asked for your hand in marriage. He said he had never taken a wife or a concubine and swore he loved only you. Was he lying? The key question is, who is Pia Piao? Even though she was merely a maid included in the dowry, she had long since come to regard the Marquis as her own man. Feeling possessive and jealous, while Lu Yuanzhou was lost in passion and infatuation, she teased him playfully, feigning resistance yet inviting him on. Your Excellency, why would you call me Pia Piao? Lu Yuanzhou had been drugged. His mind was foggy, and without thinking, he blurted out the name of the one he loved. Lu Pia Piao. I have loved only you my entire life. I did not consummate my marriage with Xing Wanwan tonight. I even refused her attempt to use a maidservant to win my favor. Lu Yuanzhou had a one-night stand. But he had no idea that Kai Wei knew exactly what was on his mind. Kai Wei slept with the Marquis and managed to extract the details of his and Lu Piapiao's schemes. She was determined to join forces with her mistress to take on that Lu Piapiao. Why let the benefits go to a stranger? How could we possibly let Lu Piapiao become the mistress of the house? I don't care whether Kai Wei manages to sneak into bed or not. Before going to bed, I bolted the door from the inside to prevent anyone from trying to harm me. After washing up, I swept up all the longan, peanuts, and red dates from under the double happiness mattress. In this lifetime, I won't have children with Lu Yuanzhou, so I have no use for these fruits that symbolize early parenthood. I lay on the bedding adorned with a pair of mandarin ducks playing in the water. My mind filled with a jumble of thoughts, recalling her tragic relationship with Lu Yuanzhou in her past life. She was overcome with regret. 8 years ago, Lu Yuanzhou was leading his troops through Yenzhou on their way to the border to fight in a war, when a sudden blizzard struck and the imperial court was unable to supply provisions. The Xing family, the wealthiest family in the land, sold half of their assets to purchase provisions and sent them to the army as a donation. At that moment, Lu Yuanzhou was filled with gratitude and said that if they won this battle, he would surely reward the Xing family handsomely. Later, after the war had ended, Lu Yuanzhou passed through Yenzhou again. The Xing family hosted a banquet in his honor, and Lu Yuanzhou discovered that the Xing family was even wealthier than he had imagined. The wealthiest man in Yenzhou, whose fortune rivals that of a nation. As for him, he was born into a humble family and earned his title of Marquis through military merit. His family fortune was modest. A wicked thought crossed his mind. He wanted to marry the Xing family's only daughter and lay his hands on their fortune. That day, my maid and I were returning from the temple after offering incense and praying to the Buddha when our carriage was ambushed by bandits halfway there. Lu Yuanzhou personally led his troops to defeat the mountain bandits. I lifted the curtain of the carriage and immediately saw the dashing young general. Lu Yuanzhou rode forward with grace and poise, behaving with the utmost courtesy. Miss, you weren't frightened by the bandits, were you? Immediately, those almond-shaped eyes gazed at me with deep affection. Clearly captivated by my beauty, I blushed and curtsied gracefully in return. Thank you, General, for saving me. Lu Yuanzhou smiled indifferently. I am Lu Yuanzhou, Marquis of Dingyuan. It is my duty to ensure the stability and security of the nation. So it is the Marquis of Dingyuan. I have long heard of your valor, and now that I have met you, I see your reputation is well deserved. Where do you live? Young lady, would you like me to escort you home? Lu Yuanzhou pretended not to recognize me. I'm happy to introduce myself. I am Xing Wanwan, the eldest daughter of the Xing family. My father is Xing Chang'an, and we live at the Xing mansion in the eastern part of the city. Upon hearing this, Lu Yuanzhou's face immediately lit up with delight. He clasped his fists toward me and bowed respectfully. So you are Miss Xing. Thanks to the Xing family's support in supplying our troops with provisions, we were able to win that battle. I never imagined I would have the chance to repay you, even in a small way. Today, I'll escort the young lady back to the mansion. Thanks. Fearing that the bandits might return, I agreed. Lu Yuanzhou escorted them on horseback, and they had a safe journey. On the way, he kept telling me about the dangers of killing enemies on the battlefield and the feats he had accomplished. Having never traveled far from home, I immediately felt a deep admiration for this young and valiant Marquis. After Lu Yuanzhou escorted me back to the mansion, My father learned that he had saved me and wanted to reward him generously. To my surprise, Lu Yuanjia refused the reward and suddenly got down on one knee to ask for my hand in marriage. If Mr. Xing truly wishes to repay me, would you consider giving Miss Xing to me in marriage? Although I am already 25 years old, I have yet to take a wife, nor do I have any concubines or mistresses. The moment I met Miss Xing, I felt as though we had known each other for years. I wish to marry Miss Xing An in the future. Secure for her the title of Lady of the Court, I humbly ask Mr. Xing to grant me his blessing. My father hurried over and helped him to his feet. Marquis of Dingyuan, please get up. Our families are not of the same social standing. It would truly be inappropriate for us to form an alliance through marriage. I'm reserved. 2. The Marquis is of such high rank, while I am merely the daughter of a merchant. I am not worthy of him. Lu Yuanjia continued to speak words that touched the hearts of his listeners. My family, the Lus, doesn't place much importance on social standing. The Xing family has done me a favor in the past, and today I happen to save Miss Shenjit. Is truly fate bringing us together. Miss Xing, don't underestimate yourself. Once you marry me, you'll become the matriarch of the Lu family, and your status will be entirely different. I'll use my official rank to secure you the title of Lady of the Court, and no noblewoman in the capital will dare to look down on you. Seeing that I was still hesitating, Lu Yuanjia made a solemn vow. I, Lu Yuanjia, will love only Xing Wanwan for the rest of my life. After we are married, I will never take a concubine. We will be together for all eternity. Should I ever break this vow, may I die with 1,000 arrows piercing my heart. My father is worried. Kyoto is 1,000 miles away from Yenzhou. If you two ever have marital problems in the future, I won't be able to protect Wanwan. Lu Yuanjia tempted him with money. Mr. Xing, if I were to marry Wanwan, I would ensure the Xing family's prosperity for generations to come, and no one would dare to bully them. In Daqing, the government prioritizes agriculture over commerce, and merchants are held in lower esteem than farmers. The border region is also plagued by constant unrest and the killing of wealthy merchants. My shrewd father was moved, and my young heart was also touched by Lu Yuanjia's vows. Later, my father provided 200 taels of dowry, accompanied by a procession stretching for 10 miles. The eldest daughter of the Xing family made a grand entrance as she was married off to the capital. After I married into the Lu family in my previous life, I saw that the Dingyuan Marquis' mansion was as poor as a church mouse, so I generously used my dowry to help support the household. Not only did I have the mansion renovated, but I also spent a fortune to hire a renowned physician to treat my gravely ill mother-in-law. I took my younger sister-in-law to a school for young ladies to learn etiquette. Use your connections to send your 2 younger brothers to the Imperial Academy to study, and urge them to study hard and strive to pass the imperial examinations. I never expected that after I died, every single one of them would be overjoyed. Early the next morning, Lu Yuanjia's angry shouts could be heard from the courtyard. You worthless wench! How dare you crawl into this marquis's bed? Get out of here at once. Your Excellency, I have come to attend to you at the mistress's behest. Kai Wei cried and whimpered, feeling wronged, but he was still kicked out. Once again, his mother-in-law, Mrs. Yi, had him taken away. It was originally up to the new mistress to deal with the maidservant who had slept with the marquis, but they went over my head. It must have been Lu Piapiao, furious and desperate, who wanted to use someone else to punish Kai Wei. I washed up, got dressed, and went out looking my best. Armed with memories from his past life, he went straight to Lu Mu's Shokong Hall. Yi was angrily interrogating Kai Wei. Speak. Who gave you the nerve to climb into the marquis's bed? Kai Wei knelt on the ground, showing no fear and speaking with complete confidence. Madam, the mistress sent me to attend to the marquis. Lu Yuan's younger sister, Lu Yining, chimed in. That's impossible. Last night was my older brother's wedding night. Why would my sister-in-law have a maidservant attend to him instead? Lu Piapiao, who had been standing by as if watching the spectacle, also spoke up to settle the matter. Madam, this servant girl is simply undisciplined. She had the audacity to disrupt her mistress's wedding night. She deserves to be beaten to death. No sooner had she finished speaking than I calmly walked inside. He shot her a sharp glance. Who is that young lady? Under my icy stare. Lu Piapiao felt a pang of fear and dared not meet my gaze. Lu Yining answered for her first. Sister-in-law. She's my best friend, the daughter of the Vice Minister of Revenue. In fact, Lu Piapiao was merely the illegitimate daughter of the Vice Minister of Revenue. Lu Yining said that to flatter her. There is a distinction between legitimate and illegitimate children. Though the difference is just one character, the disparity in status is vast. But while the other noble young ladies in the capital looked down on Lu Yining, only Lu Piapiao was willing to befriend her. She considered Lu Piapiao her closest friend. Fearing that Lu Piapiao would give herself away, Yi immediately called me to account. Ms. Xing, was it you who sent that maid to Yuan's bed last night? Yes. Last night the Marquis said he was drunk, so I sent a maid to attend to him in his study. The maids from my dowry were already qualified to serve the Marquis. What was wrong with that? I looked at Lu Piapiao again and smiled contemptuously. Young lady, you are not yet married. Yet here you are prying into other people's domestic affairs. This is a sign of poor upbringing. Please step aside. Lu Piapiao isn't a stranger. She's as close to me as a sister. Lu Yining spoke up in her defense. Upon hearing this, Kai Wei, who was kneeling on the ground, looked even more surprised than I did. Her gaze toward Lu Piapiao brimming with jealousy and resentment. So this is Lu Piapiao, the Marquis's beloved. She wasn't nearly as pretty as her mistress, but her figure was as slender as a willow branch, making it easy for men to feel a pang of pity for her. Mistress. Just as Kai Wei was about to say something, I immediately cut her off. Shut up. When the master is speaking, servants are not allowed to interrupt. Otherwise, I won't be able to protect you. Kai Wei felt a wave of warmth wash over her. With tears in her eyes, she nodded in agreement. Lu Piapiao had no idea at that moment that Lu Yuanjia had already exposed her. Relying on the support of the Yi family and Lu Yining, she stepped forward with a sense of self-righteousness and tried to dissuade me in a sarcastic tone. The young mistress is far too lenient with the servants. I fear it may tarnish the reputation of the Dingyuan Marquis' household. I gave a cold laugh. If the Marquis' household had any sense of propriety, they wouldn't let an unmarried younger sister-in-law meddle in the Marquis' affairs, much less allow her best friend to eavesdrop on the mistress of the house managing the household. If word of this got out, no one would dare marry either of you. As soon as those words were spoken, Lu Yining and Lu Piapiao were instantly at a loss for words. His expression was stiff. Fearing that this might prevent Lu Yining from ever getting married, Yi issued an order. You two, get out. The two of them left the hall reluctantly. Yi is planning to wear me down. She adopted a stern, authoritative expression and lectured him. Sheng, if it weren't for Yuanjia's affection for you, as the daughter of a merchant, you would never have been worthy of marrying into the Marquis' household. I smiled calmly and responded to this wicked mother-in-law with neither subservience nor arrogance. Please confirm this with the Marquis. Not only does he have feelings for me, but he also knelt at the entrance to my family's home and swore that once I entered his household, I would no longer be the daughter of a merchant, but the mistress of the Marquis' estate. He vowed that no one would ever look down on me, and that he would use his official rank to secure a noble title for me. I spoke loudly, certain that Lu Piapiao, who had just left, could hear me clearly. Sure enough, upon hearing this, Lu Piapiao, who was standing outside the door, shuddered slightly, and her eyes immediately welled up with tears. Yin. Seeing the look of dejection on her face, Lu Yining immediately felt sorry for her and tried to comfort her. Piapiao, don't worry. My older brother loves only you. Even if he said those things, he was just trying to deceive Xing Wanwan. Once she gives birth to a child and our Lu family has taken over the Xing family's entire estate, my older brother will divorce her. Yeah, I know. Lu Piapiao felt a little more at ease. As long as she kept the Lu family under her control, everything belonging to Xing Wanwan would be hers in the future. They had only taken a few steps when they ran into Lu Yuanjia, who had just finished washing up. Lu Piapiao looked at him with a sorrowful expression, as if her heart had been deeply wounded. Piapiao. It's not what you think. I was drunk when that maid took advantage of me. Lu Yuanjia eagerly explained to her. Lu Piapiao knew that arguing with him at that moment would jeopardize her long-term plans. So she swallowed her tears and showed magnanimity. I understand, Your Excellency. Please remember, you must never again allow a maidservant to attend to you at such close quarters. I promise. Piapiao. Don't worry, I only love you. Lu Yuanzhou would have given his heart and soul to prove his loyalty. In the living room, my mother-in-law was already seething with rage at what I had said. He slammed his fist on the table and scolded him. Miss Xing, is this any way for a newlywed to speak to her mother-in-law? Just as I expected from someone from a merchant family, you have no sense of propriety at all. Oh. Everyone knows I'm a newlywed. Yet they've gone behind my back to deal with my maidservant. Who exactly is the one lacking in manners? I'm not afraid to flip the table, since I've been given a second chance at life. I'm here to seek revenge if there's no need for me to pretend to be a dutiful daughter-in-law. She doesn't deserve it. I've fallen out with my mother-in-law, so I won't have to pay my respects to her every morning and evening anymore. Lu Yuanjia heard me say that, and he stormed in. His face flushed with anger. Wan, how can you speak to your mother like that? Lu Yuanjia, your mother called me a merchant's daughter, saying I'm unworthy of marrying into the Marquis's household. Why don't you send me back to Yenzhou? It wasn't me who begged to marry into the Lu family, it was you who knelt down and begged to marry me. Since your mother disapproves, we might as well divorce today and part ways amicably. I looked at him, my eyes devoid of any emotion. Lu Yuanjia didn't expect me to have such a sudden change of heart. Back in Yenzhou, ever since he asked for my hand in marriage, whenever I looked at him, my eyes were filled with the deep affection of a young girl in love. At that moment, he saw that my eyes were completely unreadable, devoid of any tenderness as if I were a stranger. He was surprised, but he didn't feel like looking into it. Divorcing his wife on the second day of their marriage, if the censors were to find out, it would do him more harm than good. Besides, he hasn't even received most of my dowry yet. My father purchased many shops for me in Kyoto, and the deeds to those properties are all kept at the Xing family's money exchange in Kyoto. If they split up now, it wouldn't do him any good. He gave Ms.Ye a look. Ms.Ye realized that this was not the time to argue with me, so she stopped herself before she could finish her sentence. Lu Yuanjia gave Yi a way out. Mother, Wan has just married far away and is still unfamiliar with the household rules. I beg you, for your son's sake, to spare Wan this time. All right, for your sake, I'll let her off this once. You're spoiling him way too much. Wan, mother forgives you. Lu Yuanzhou was trying to take credit for it. Ugh, I can't be bothered to watch you two put on a show, I said with a dismissive smile. Nothing's wrong. I'm going back to my room. With that, he walked out without waiting for a reply. They also forgot that the new bride was supposed to present tea. There were no maids to prepare tea in the first place. It was Lu Yuanzhi's first time getting married, and he hadn't put any effort into the preparations. It was a marriage of convenience to begin with, so he didn't care about such formalities. Having been reborn, I took a deep breath. Now that I no longer loved, everything seemed so real. Just as they were about to deal with Kai Wei, who was kneeling on the ground, I turned around and scolded them. Kai Wei, are you dead? Hurry up and serve me my meal. Yes. Kai Wei followed him out, as if she'd been granted a pardon. Seeing that they had walked a long way, Yi asked Lu Yuanjia in puzzlement. Son, do you think the Xing family has found out something? You probably don't know, do you? I didn't sleep with her last night. Lu Yuanzhou looked confident. She was spoiled from childhood. She's innocent and knows nothing about the inner workings of the household. That's good, Immerse.Ye added. Once I've swindled her out of her fortune, I'll divorce her. She's the daughter of a merchant's an eyesore. Don't worry, mother. I'll take care of it as soon as Xing Wan gives birth. Lu Yuanzhou was thinking of killing me, not divorcing me. Miss, I have something urgent to tell you, that Lu Piapiao hurried over, eager to share the news with me. It seems her visit to Lu Yuanzha's bed last night actually paid off. If you have any grievances, let's talk about them back at Shiyuan. I raised my hand to cut her off. Because of what happened this morning, I expect the Lu family will be wary of me. Kai Wei nodded and fell silent. I headed straight to the kitchen to grab something to eat. You've got to have a full stomach to take down the jerk. When the cook saw me coming, she quickly put down her bowl and chopsticks. The young mistress is here. Since no one came to pick up the meal this morning, I went ahead and ate it. Seeing the table laden with food, I decided to sit down. No need to walk me out from now on. I'll just eat in the kitchen. Hearing this, the cook paused for a moment and gave an awkward smile. The kitchen is dirty and messy. Please don't get your clothes dirty, young mistress, I said calmly. I simply want a hot meal. It's a hassle to have it delivered. And who knows, someone might even poison my food. The cook was taken aback. This is the whole mansion. Who would dare harm the young mistress? I chuckled to myself. You'd dare. In my past life, I knew this cook was greedy, and I even punished her for it. Later, she colluded with Lu Piapiao to sabotage my food as a form of revenge, poisoning my meals, which led to complications during the delivery of my second child. This petty person is narrow-minded, but in this life, I will use his hand to kill Lu Piapiao. I took out a tool silver ingot and gave it to her, bribing her with money. Please continue to take good care of my meals. Thank you for the tip, young mistress. The cook took the silver, her face beaming with joy, and hurried to flatter her. Please wait a moment, madam. I'll bring you some clean dishes and prepare a couple of fresh, hot dishes for you. I nodded and glanced at Kai Wei. What are you still standing there for? Go help with dinner. Kai Wei reluctantly agreed to help out. The cook plucked up her courage and set her to work on this and that. It's best to let the bad guys deal with the bad guys. After a hearty breakfast, I went back to Shiyuan to get all dressed up. I'm getting ready to leave the residence on official business. While Kai Wei was helping me get ready, she quietly told me in detail about how Lu Yuanzha had held her in his arms last night and called her Lu Piapiao. Miss, the Marquis has a wandering eye. The one he truly loves is Lu Piapiao. You must be careful. I sighed softly. All men are lustful, and the Marquis is in the prime of his life. Now that I've become the principal wife, I naturally can't be overly jealous. If the Marquis wishes to take a concubine in the future, I'll make sure you're the first to be chosen. Without meaning to, he painted her a rosy picture. Kai Wei was so taken with the idea that she hurriedly thanked him. Just as I was about to leave, Lu Yuanzhou walked into the courtyard. Wave away the shepherdess and speak to me in private. Wan, from now on, you're not allowed to send maids to my bed anymore. I only want to have children with you. If the Marquis hadn't been in need of some relief, that maid wouldn't have gotten her way, would she? Wan, you were the one who arranged everything last night, and now you're actually blaming me. No, I was actually planning to make Kai Wei a concubine. I've been feeling under the weather these past few days, so it would be perfect to have someone help me look after the Marquis. I don't want a maid, it's too lowly. I'm in no rush to consummate our marriage. I'll wait until you're well again before I come to be with you. Now that the Marquis has slept with her, he must take responsibility. Kai Wei is my dowry maid. She must be given a proper status. Otherwise, I, as the mistress of the household, will be unable to establish my authority in the Marquis's mansion. Perhaps we should just agree to a divorce. Lu Yuanzha relented with a sigh. Fine, whatever you say, but I'll never lay a finger on her again. Changing the subject, Swanji asked, by the way, I'm still off duty today. Do you want me to go with you to pick up those property deeds? I coldly refused. There's no rush. I'm the sole authority at the Xing family's money house. Your Excellency, please go attend to your official duties. Lu Yuanzha had no choice but to go about his business. I went to the Xing family's money exchange in Kyoto, spoke to the manager about the Lu family's affairs, gave him some instructions, and then returned. Before long, the wife of the Vice Minister of Revenue arrived at the Liu residence with several maidservants to look for Liu Piapiao. Mrs. Liu's expression was icy. Immerse.lu. That insolent girl actually dared to stay out all night. I'm taking her home to discipline her according to our family rules. Liu Piapiao protested. Mother, I've always been on good terms with Miss Yin. Last night she asked me to stay the night, which is why I didn't return to the manor. Kai Wei interjected. Madame Liu had better have her examined. A girl who stays out all night might already have lost her virginity. Upon hearing this, Lady Liu flew into a rage. We must have her examined. If she's been defiled, I'll sell that slut to a farmhand. Madame Liu ordered several elderly maids to drag Liu Piapiao away. Madam, save me. Miss Liu, save me. Your Grace, save me. Liu Piapiao cried out to the Liu family for help. Liu Yuanjia didn't dare to show his face. Seeing that Liu Piapiao was so disliked by her stepmother, Lady Liu and Liu Yinin immediately turned their backs on her. Miss Liu, your mother was right to discipline you. You should go home now. I have already given myself to Lord Liu, and he has promised to marry me. Liu Piapiao decided to take the plunge and throw caution to the wind. That slut, I certainly plan to keep her around and make her suffer. I said. The Marquis hasn't mentioned this to me. Perhaps Lady Liu could examine her in the adjoining room. Soon after, the Liu family's matron examined Liu Piapiao and informed Lady Liu. Liu Piapiao has lost her virginity. That slut. Lady Liu immediately ordered the maid to beat Liu Piapiao half to death. This time, Liu's mother and Liu Yinin didn't step in to defend her. Liu Yuanjia rushed over upon hearing the news. My lord, save me. Liu Piapiao cried tearfully as she pleaded with Liu Yuanjia for help. Liu Yuanjia was deeply distressed. He immediately stepped forward to shield Liu Piapiao and knelt before Lady Liu. Lady Liu, Miss Liu did indeed lose her virginity to this Marquis, and I am willing to take responsibility for her. It seems this man's knees were always ready to kneel. I gave a cold laugh. If that's the case, then let the Marquis take her as a concubine. An unmarried girl who has lost her virginity would bring shame upon Lady Liu's family if she were to return home. Madame Liu's frown eased slightly. That little slut has caused you trouble. From now on, if she doesn't obey your orders, feel free to beat her, scold her, or sell her off. She had the old woman give Liu Piapiao a severe beating and scolding before she left. Starting today, Kai Wei and Liu Piapiao are both the Marquis' concubines and will be staying in the side chambers on either side of the west garden. As soon as I said that, no one dared to object. That day, both of them presented me with tea and performed the ritual for a concubine. Liu Piapiao was extremely reluctant, while Kai Wei was overjoyed. Liu Yuanjia was torn. He felt he owed Liu Piapiao a great deal. He wanted to say something, but seeing the stern look on my face, he ultimately didn't dare speak up. After finishing my tea, I said matter-of-factly, Kai Wei was part of the dowry as a maid. Becoming a concubine is more legitimate than Liu Piapiao's situation, and she ranks higher than her. From now on, her monthly allowance will be increased by 2 taels of silver. Upon hearing this, Liu Piapiao bit her lip, trying to contain her emotions. I added, since I am not feeling well, Kai Wei will attend to the Marquis tonight. That night, Liu Yuanjia spent the first half of the night with Kai Wei and the second half with Liu Piapiao. Liu Piapiao sobbed. Your Excellency, Qing Wanwan made me her concubine just to humiliate me. Piapiao, please bear with me for now. Once I've secured the Qing family's estate, I'll make you my primary wife. I'll never let you down. Liu Yuanjia tenderly comforted his beloved. That's fine. As long as the Marquis has me in his heart, I'm willing to wait for that day. Liu Piapiao tended to him with tears in her eyes, and Liu Yuanjia felt even more compassion for her. Ever since Kai Wei became a concubine, she's been relying on me, the mistress of the house, as her backing, and has frequently been bickering and trading insults with Liu Piapiao. I sat back and watched the show, munching on sunflower seeds. You slut. You whore. You became a concubine without a matchmaker or a dowry, and you scream so loud at night that you keep everyone awake. You worthless wench, you slept with the Marquis. So what right do you have to scold me? I'm the mistress's personal maid. She gave me permission to become her concubine. But you, a nobleman's daughter who secretly offers herself to a Monyerie shameless. You filthy maid. The Marquis can't stand the stench of your fee, though won't even go into your room. Heh heh. Even though the Marquis favors you, you're still just a concubine. You'll never be on the same level as our mistress. Ha. A mistress who isn't favored by the Marquis, what's she worth? Lu Piapiao was about to snap back, but when she saw the 4 newly purchased maids flanking me as I emerged from the side room, their imposing presence causing her to swallow the rest of her words. What's that supposed to mean? Go on. I gave her a cold smile. She didn't dare say anything more and turned to flee, tail between her legs. A few days later, Lu Yuanjia came to my room to consummate our marriage. Wan, are you feeling better now? That dog of a man has no right to touch me. If it weren't for getting back at his whole family, I would have left long ago. My body has healed, but my heart hasn't. The Marquis swore he would love only me for the rest of his life. Yet it turns out you and Miss Lu have been secretly seeing each other all along. So you've been holding a grudge against me all this time. You don't know that Lu Piapiao did me a favor. Lu Yuanjia suddenly started telling me a story. When I was 15, my family was so poor that I ended up on the streets and nearly starved to death. It was only because a young official's daughter had someone send me a steamed bun and 2 taels of silver that I managed to survive. If it were someone else's story, I'd probably be moved. But when Lu Yuanjia brought up that old story, I couldn't help but scoff inwardly. Why should I risk my life and my fortune to repay a debt you owe someone else? It wasn't until after my death that I learned the truth about why Lu Yuanjia had fallen so deeply in love with Lu Piapiao. Lu Yuanjia had always mistakenly believed that the person who had helped him all those years ago was Lu Piapiao. Actually, the person who gave him the silver was Lu Qingqing, Lu Piapiao's elder sister. This was when, in a previous life, after Lu Piapiao had become the mistress of a Marquis' household, Lu Qingqing visited the Lu residence as a guest. It was then that Immerse.lu inadvertently revealed the story of their past lives. And only then did Lu Qingqing understand why her half-sister, Lu Piapiao, had been welcomed into the Lu household as Lu Yuanjia's second wife in a grand procession. As she left the home mansion, her personal maid spoke out in indignation on her behalf. Miss, it was clearly you who gave Lu Yuanjia those 2 taels of silver back then. The second miss was riding in the same carriage with you at the time. And she even mocked that little beggar for being lowly. I never imagined that Lu Piapiao would claim it as her own under a false name, and now she's even become the lady of the Marquis' mansion. It's simply outrageous. We were once as close as sisters, but now that we've both married, there's no need to hold a grudge. Lu Qingqing said disdainfully. Lord Lu's first wife died in childbirth, less than 6 months after her death. He married Lu Piapiao as his primary wife and seized the Xing family's estate. He has a wicked heart and is utterly unworthy of this young lady. If I'd known this back then, I should have let him starve to death. In this lifetime, I plan to let Lu Yuanjia know about this at the right moment. After hearing the story, I asked Lu Yuanjia, since Lu Piapiao has done you a favor, why didn't you marry her before? Why did you wait until I came along, forcing you to take her as a concubine? Lu Yuanjia lied, going against his conscience. Wan, you and I are in love. My relationship with Lu Piapiao is one of gratitude. On our wedding night, I was drunk and mistook her for someone else, which is why I ended up with Lu Piapiao. That was not my intention. I scoffed inwardly. Do they really think I'm that easy to fool? In my past life, I died during childbirth. In this life, I will make them all suffer the same fate. My lord, childbirth is a perilous ordeal. I am still young and plan to wait a few years before having children. If you have your 2 concubines bear children, I will treat them as my own. Lu Yuanjia hesitated for a moment before agreeing. After that, Lu Yuanjia often took turns sleeping in Kaiwei and Lu Piapiao's rooms. Lu Piapiao was afraid of getting pregnant, so Lu Yuanjia went out and bought her some abortion-inducing herbs, then lied to me and said they were prenatal supplements. Since I ate in the kitchen every day, I gave the cook some silver while she was boiling the herbs, so she could replace them with real pregnancy-preserving medicine. This pregnancy-preserving medicine is a prescription the doctor gave me for Kaiwei. Every time the cook prepares it, she makes 2 bowls, one for Kaiwei and one for Lu Piapiao. Within 2 months, both Kaiwei and Lu Piapiao were diagnosed as being pregnant. Kaiwei was delighted, but Lu Piapiao flew into a rage and scolded the cook. "Did you switch my medicinal soup?" The cook retorted. "Heaven and earth are my witnesses, just like concubine Kaiwei. You only managed to stabilize your pregnancy after taking medicine to preserve the fetus. And now you actually blame me for taking too good of care of you. Don't you fear being struck by lightning? I came here as soon as I heard the news, just to show my support for the cook, concubine Lu. Even I, the mistress of this household, have given you permission to conceive. If you don't do your duty to bear children for the Marquis, are you trying to miscarry on purpose? If you dare to continue causing trouble in the Marquis's mansion, I'll have no choice but to sell you into a brothel." Upon hearing this, Lu Piapiao dared not argue and stormed off to her room. Later, she tried to find a way to miscarry, but I hired 2 new maids to keep a close watch on her, determined to make her experience the pain of childbirth. He also had the cook prepare nourishing meals for them every day. The 2 concubines' bellies grew bigger and bigger. I wouldn't let them move about. If they could lie down, I wouldn't let them sit. And I even had the maids feed them. The 2 concubines were well fed and plump, as fat as pigs. Lu Yuanjia gradually lost interest in them and wanted to share a room with me. I was still feeling resentful, so I decided to wait until the 2 concubines had given birth before sending him away. The very next day, he promoted 5 eager maidservants to become Lu Yuanjia's concubines. I dangled the carrot in front of these maids, telling them that if they served the Marquis well, they get a cash reward and might even become a concubine. These concubines and maids immediately used every trick in the book to seduce Lu Yuanjia. Lu Yuanjia soon became completely absorbed in it and couldn't be bothered to look at the 2 pregnant women anymore. Lu Piapiao wept day after day, cursing Lu Yuanjia. "You faithless man. You broke your vow. You will surely be punished by heaven." Before I could lift a finger, Lu's mother slapped her across the face several times herself. "You slut. If you dare make a scene again, I'll rip that filthy mouth of yours right off." Lu Yinin also despised her. "You wicked woman. If you dare curse my older brother again, I'll sell you off." The Lu family had long since disowned Lu Piapiao because she had chosen to lead a life of debauchery. Now, her life is in the hands of the Lu family. I feel worthless, and I deeply regret what I've done. Ever since I had that argument with Immerse, I haven't sent her my regards. This time around, I won't go easy on this family. She was gravely ill, yet I stood by and did nothing, sending only the 2 concubines to tend to her. My younger sister-in-law has no interest in learning the etiquette of a lady of high standing, so I will never send her to a school for young ladies again. My 2 younger brothers don't like to study, and I'm not going to ask anyone to send them to the Imperial Academy. They're all happy to be good-for-nothings. Lu Yuanjia was too busy with military affairs to have time to look after them. Today, a censor accused him of favoring his concubines over his wife, taking 2 concubines shortly after marrying his new wife, and even allowing a concubine to become pregnant first, all of which demonstrated a lack of moral character. The emperor confiscated a year's worth of his salary. The Ho family's financial situation was growing increasingly dire. They couldn't even afford new clothes for the new year. Lu's mother couldn't resist the temptation to use my dowry to supplement the family income. He came all the way to Shiyuan to discuss this with me. Wan. It's been some time since you married into the Lu family. Now that both of the concubines are with child, could you please set aside some silver to repair the mansion and buy new clothes for the household? Otherwise, it will be a disgrace to the entire family. Besides, Lu Yuanjia needs money to grease the wheels in the political arena. As his lawful wife, you need to help lighten his burden. Heh, you old fox. You call me Sheng when you're scolding me, but Wan when you're scheming against me. So I played hard to get. My father knows that Lu Yuanjia has taken a concubine, so he's kept all my valuable dowry at the money house, saying he'll give it to me in 3 years. 3 years. Immerse.lu looked disappointed. I nodded. If mother isn't satisfied and wants to wait 3 years, I'll ask to be divorced myself. Lu's mother weighed the pros and cons, gritted her teeth, and said, 3 years isn't that long to wait. She sold her jewelry and the Lu family's properties to barely make ends meet. I have my own private funds, so I can give the cook a little something here and there, and enjoy a delicious meal all to myself every day. Lu's mother and Lu Yinyin, unaware of the situation, scrimped and saved every day. Before long, he looked haggard from overwork. Lu Yinin's comingafage ceremony was so modest that, even 6 months later, no one had come to propose marriage. At the end of the year, 2 concubines went into labor on the same day. To save money, Lu's mother hired an unknown midwife to deliver the baby. They were giving birth in the same delivery room. Screaming in agony, the midwife scolded her. You're only 3 centimeters dilated, stop wailing. Save your energy for the actual delivery. Lu's mother scolded her. What woman doesn't feel pain when giving birth? It'll be fine once the baby's out. Before long, the midwife came out to report. Both women are having difficult labors. The babies are in breech position and have large heads. Should we prioritize the mother or the baby? Lu's mother replied without hesitation. We must prioritize the young over the old. If we spend all this money raising them for a year and they fail to bear an heir for the Lu family, it will all have been for nothing. But Lu Yuanjia asked me, Wan, which one should we save, the older one or the younger one? I said calmly, I'll do as my mother-in-law says. Upon hearing this, Lu Piapiao burst into a tirade right there in the delivery room. Lu Yuanjia, you heartless, ungrateful wretch. You've wasted the kindness I showed you all those years ago. If I hadn't given you 2 taels of silver, your entire family would have died long ago. Lu Yuanjia felt a twinge of guilt and said to the midwife, Let's name the baby Bada after concubine Lu. I suppose you still have some compassion. Lu Piapiao said, finally letting out a sigh of relief. No sooner had he finished speaking than a servant came to announce, Miss Lu has arrived. Lu Piapiao thought her elder sister had come to support her, and was overjoyed. Quick, please bring my sister in. Lu Qingqing was asked to step outside the delivery room. Her tone was distant. I heard your sister was having a difficult labor. So out of sisterly concern, I came to check on you. Sister, save me. Just now, the Lu family tried to keep the son and get rid of the mother. Lu scolded her gently. You brought this on yourself by degrading yourself, sleeping with Lord Lu without a matchmaker or a dowry. You deserve to end up like this. After the censor's indictment, the whole world knew that the Lu family had failed to raise their daughters properly, to the point that both I and the legitimate daughter of the Lu clan were forced to marry below our station. Her marriage didn't work out, so she harbored resentment toward Lu Piapiao. The first time Lu Yuanjia saw Lu Qingqing, she struck him as strangely familiar. Miss Lu, was it you who gave me a steamed bun and 2 taels of silver 10 years ago? You were sitting in a carriage at the time, and I only caught a glimpse of your profile. It is I who never imagined you to be so ungrateful. Not only did you seduce my half-sister and force her to become a concubine, but you also ruined the reputation of the Lu family, making it difficult for our legitimate daughters to find husbands. The Lu family was taken aback. So you're the one who saved our family. Lu Yuanjia felt a pang of pain. He never imagined that Lu Piapiao had been deceiving him for several years. You sisters look alike. Back then, it was Lu Piapiao herself who came to identify me, saying she was the one who saved me. Lu Qingqing sneered coldly. That slut is nothing but a smooth talker at home. I never imagined she'd go so far as to impersonate me to seduce you. Back then, when I wanted to give you some silver, she even stopped me, saying there was no need to be charitable to a beggar. Now, this is truly a joke. Do as you please. After Lu Qingqing left, Lu Yuanjia was filled with resentment. Lu Piapiao, you've deceived me so terribly. I could have married the eldest daughter of the Vice Minister of Revenue, but you impersonated her and caused me to miss out on a wonderful match. He spoke his mind, completely unconcerned that I was there. It seems that, in his eyes, if daughter of a merchant am even lower in status than Lu Piapiao. Lu Piapiao protested. My feelings for Lord Lu are genuine. I only pretended to be you because I love you. Lu's mother also resented Lu Piapiao for ruining her son's chance at a good marriage, and immediately wanted to kill her. He instructed the midwife, with concubine Lu's pregnancy, save the baby, not the mother. The midwife asked Lu Yuanjia again, Your Excellency, should we prioritize saving the baby or the mother in concubine Lu's pregnancy? Lu Yuanjia said decisively, Let her go in peace. Neither mother nor child will survive. That slut has no right to bear my children. In the delivery room, Lu Piapiao cursed Lu Yuanjia to die soon. Before long, one body, two lives lost. Kai Wei took a single glance at her child after giving birth, then passed away. The midwife delivered the baby. Congratulations, Your Lordship. It's a baby boy. Lu Yuanjia brought the child over to me. Wan. From now on, I'm leaving this child in your care. This child's face is exactly the same as that of Lu Mingyi from his past life at the time of his birth. A child born to a maid, what right does it have to be raised by me? I gave a cold laugh. Lu Yuanjia's expression suddenly changed. It was you who got the concubine pregnant back then. I gave you permission to have children, but I never said I'd raise them. They're not my kids, what's it got to do with me? It's time to show our cards. Lu Yuanjia suddenly realized. Wan, are you trying to get back at me on purpose? I smiled. Yes, I'm here to get back at you. In my past life, you tricked me into marriage, caused my tragic death, and lived a life of luxury and wealth. In this life, I will make sure you have nothing. You wicked woman. I'm divorcing you. Lu Yuanjia shouted angrily. Lu Yuanjia, you have no right to divorce me. I am the one who's divorcing you. I pulled out a divorce letter I'd written earlier. Lu Yuanjia took it and looked at it. His hands were shaking. Lu Yuanjia deceived his wife into marriage, favored his concubine, and cast his wife aside. I grant it. Seeing the emperor's annotation and the imperial seal, Lu Yuanjia was both startled and puzzled. Why would the emperor help you? I sneered at him. You probably don't know this, but the Qing family has been imperial merchants for 3 generations. How could a mere soldier like you possibly know? In his previous life, Lu Yuanjia openly inherited the Qing family fortune because I bore him 2 children, thereby elevating his status through his sons. In this life, I did not bear him a child, so the Lu family can forget about getting their hands on a single penny of the Qing family's fortune, with the divorce decree bearing the imperial seal in his hands. Lu Yuanjia had no choice but to agree. Otherwise, he would be signing his own death warrant. The Lu family watched helplessly as the imperial guard came to help me carry away the dowry items I had brought to the Lu household. A jade-inlaid gold screen, a dressing table and a 4-poster bed crafted from golden thread Nanma wood, and various boxes edged with gold thread. I walked out carrying a box, and when I opened one of them by accident, jewels of every color spilled out onto the floor. 6 night pearls, each as large as a goose egg, stood out strikingly. The imperial guard helped me pick them up one by one, while the Lu family could only watch with envy. Lu's mother was so overcome with grief that she fainted on the spot. Lu Yinin and her younger brothers knelt on the ground and begged me. Sister-in-law, don't leave. We don't want you to go. Lu Yuanjia knelt down as well. Wan. I was wrong. Will you give me a chance to make amends? I shot him a disdainful glance. I've divorced my husband. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. Let's part ways and never see each other again. Before long. I heard that the Lu family was so poor they couldn't even put food on the table and had to borrow money from their relatives just to keep up appearances. Rumors have been circulating that Lu Yuanjia chose to spare the children but not their mothers after 2 of his concubines gave birth. Terry, Fide, the mistress, Qing Wan, divorced her husband that very day and fled far away. The Lu family's reputation for malice is widely known. As a result, no noblewoman was willing to marry Lu Yuanjia, and no one sought to marry Lu Yinin either. In order to pay off his debts, Lu Yuanjia hoped to earn a reward through military merit, so he volunteered to lead a campaign against the Northern Rome Kingdom to expand the empire's territory for the emperor. Eager to distinguish himself, he underestimated the enemy and advanced recklessly, only to walk into an ambush and die with his heart pierced by 1,000 arrows. At the moment of his death, several unfamiliar scenes flashed through his mind. It seemed as though in a past life, he had betrayed Xing Wanwan, conspiring with Lu Piapiao to cause her to die in childbirth while giving birth to her second child, seizing her dowry and the Xing family's assets, and living a blissful life with Lu Piapiao while Xing Wanwan's spirit hovered above the Lu family estate, watching it all with a look of resentment. So, in this life, does he deserve what has happened to him? Lu Yuanjia suddenly remembered the vow he had made. I, Lu Yuanjia, will love only Xing Wanwan for the rest of my life. After we are married, I will take no concubines. We will be together for all eternity. Should I ever break this vow, may I die with 1,000 arrows piercing my heart. It turned out to be true. After Lu Yuanjia's death, the emperor held him responsible for the military defeat and the harm it caused to the nation. Not only was his title revoked, but the entire Lu clan was also subjected to confiscation of property. Her two good-for-nothing younger brothers ended up as vagabonds, and Lu Yinin was sold by them to a brothel to work as a prostitute. 7 years later, Lu's mother was begging on the streets with Lu Mingyi, frequently met with contempt and insults from passers-by. "You stinking bum, get lost. Grandmother, why are we so lowly?" Lu Mingyi asked, unwilling to accept his fate, with one eye swollen shut from crying. Lady Yi sighed. "Back then, your father was simply deceived by that harlot Lu Piapiao. You were meant to be born to the legitimate daughter of the Xing family, but instead you ended up in the womb of a maid who came as part of the dowry. Such is fate." Just then, several carriages with canopies belonging to dignitaries passed by, accompanied by a large entourage, drawing the attention of many onlookers. Someone said, "Prince Jing has arrived in the capital." Lu Mingyi looked up and saw that the curtain of the most luxurious carriage in the middle had been blown open at one corner, revealing the breathtakingly beautiful face of a noble lady. She was holding a cute little girl in her arms, and beside her stood a handsome prince dressed in a python skin robe. Lu Mingyi muttered to himself, "How wonderful it would be if I were reborn inside her." I glanced indifferently at the little beggar, who looked familiar. Our eyes met, and he gazed at me longingly, unable to help but call out, "Mother." The carriage had already passed him by. The curtain fell, and they would never meet again in this lifetime. That's the end of the story. Thank you all for reading. See you in the next one.